So you sit there and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and then your heart sinks and you realize that your bag is not here. Aww. It's not on the carousel. It didn't arrive at the destination. So what do? Hello everyone, welcome back to Easy Online English. I'm Sahara and today we have another airport expressions video for you. But all of these expressions are for when you get into trouble at the airport. So not just normal situations. What happens if you lose a bag? What happens if you lose your ticket or you don't have a ticket? All of these expressions in this video will help you when you get in trouble at the airport. So let's go.
If you want to know the translation in your language, be sure to check the translated subtitles here.
All right, for our first situation, imagine you are arriving to the airport and maybe there is an emergency and you haven't booked a ticket yet. So you walk up to the counter and you say that you need a ticket, but they tell you the flights are all booked. What do, right? You need this ticket. What kind of conversation would you have with the attendant? So let's look at these expressions that will be helpful for you. So imagine the first thing you say is, I'd like to book a flight to New York, please. I'd like to book a flight to New York, please. Then they can respond and they could say, oh, I'm sorry. All the flights to New York are full today. Oh, I'm sorry. All the flights to New York are full today. So you're panicking. What do you do? Okay, here are some responses that you could use. When is the next available flight? When is the next available flight? Or you could say, is it a possibility that a seat will open up? Is it a possibility that a seat will open up? Now, you might be put on what's called a standby list. So this is a list of people that have priority, or maybe they're standing in line waiting to get on the next flight. So you could say something like this. How many people are in front of me? How many people are in front of me? Or you could directly ask them, can you add me to the standby list, please? Can you add me to the standby list, please? How will I know if I get a seat? How will I know if I get a seat? Will you call me if the seat becomes available? Will you call me if the seat becomes available? So all of these are very useful expressions. So let's actually look at some clips from television and movies so you can see them being used in conversation.
Now, if you want to stay at the airport, maybe we can get you on standby. It is a possibility that the seat will open up.
Okay.
Yes. I'll wait.
Now, if you want to stay at the airport, maybe we can get you on standby. It is a possibility that the seat will open up.
Okay.
Yes. I'll wait.
All right, so you overcame the disaster, you got a flight out, and so you have to go check your bag now. But you get there and you go to weigh your bag and it weighs too much, right? This is the worst day ever, okay? So here are some expressions that you need to know for this type of situation. So first, they might say this. Sorry, your baggage is overweight. Can you please check it? Sorry, your baggage is overweight. Can you please check it? They mean to just look at it or take some of the contents out of the bag. you might have to take some of your things and put it in your purse or put it in your carry-on so you could take it onto the plane. So here's what you could say. Oh, how many pounds is it? Or kilograms, right? Oh, how many pounds is it? And they might say, it's 50 pounds. You can take some things out of your bag and put it in your carry-on. It's 50 pounds. You can take some things out of your bag and put it in your carry-on. And you might have to step away from the counter to do this because there's other people waiting behind you. So you could say this. Thank you. I'll step aside and organize my luggage. Thank you. I'll step aside and organize my luggage.
It'll fit. Oh, it'll fit. Get it on it. Yeah. Yeah.
So your bag, it's all situated, you're ready to go, and you have to go through security, right? And what happens? Well, a TSA officer stops you and they say that you've been selected for extra screening, or they see something in your carry-on and you've been selected for extra screening. So actually this happens a lot in America. We do have higher levels of security in airports because of 9/11 and the Patriot Act. So I've actually even been stopped for extra screening several times, and I'm an American. So don't worry if this happens, but here are some expressions that you could use in this type of scenario. The first one is, sir, could you please step over here for extra screening? Sir, could you please step over here for extra screening? You might say this, is there a problem? Is everything okay? Is there a problem? Is everything okay? They most likely will say this, you've been randomly selected for extra screening. You've been randomly selected for extra screening. Or they might say it like this. It's just a routine secondary security check. It's just a routine secondary security check. They also will do a pat down. So this is where they will actually use their hands and they will pat you down and see if there's anything on your body. They usually use the back of your hands, and I know it can be a little embarrassing sometimes, but it's usually very quick. So usually what they say is, please spread your arms and legs. Please spread your arms and legs. Then they'll probably look into your bag and they will do a check there. So they could say, may I open your bag? May I open your bag? And the last thing they might do is a explosives check, which sounds really scary, but it's not. They just have like this piece of cloth and they will wipe it on your hands. They will also wipe it inside of the bag. And then they put it in this machine and it'll check for explosive materials. So what they usually say is, I need to swab your hands, or I need to wipe your hands. I need to swab your hands.
Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pat you down with my hands over your clothes. When I get to a sensitive area, I'm going to be using the back of my hand. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pat you down with my hands over your clothes. When I get to a sensitive area, I'm going to be using the back of my hand.
All right, with all these issues that you've had on your flight so far, by the time that you get to your destination and you go through customs, it can feel very overwhelming. So in this section, we are going to give you the typical questions that a customs officer would ask you. So the first one is, what is the nature of your visit? What is the nature of your visit? Or they might say it like this, what is the purpose of your visit? What is the purpose of your visit? They're just asking, why are you here? Why did you come here? And you could either answer one or two ways. You could say, I am here on business. I am here on business. You're here for work, basically. Or it could be the opposite. You could say, I'm here for pleasure. I'm here for pleasure. This just means I'm a tourist. Right? I'm visiting the country for fun. You could also say, I'm a tourist. Now, this is when they're going to ask you details about your trip. They're going to say, how long will you be staying? How long will you be staying? They might even ask to see your return ticket back to your country or wherever you came from. They will also ask you, where are you staying? Where are you staying? And they also might ask, who are you staying with? Who are you staying with? So these are all details about your trip. You can be direct and concise and confident and just say, I'm here on business. I'm visiting with a colleague. I'm visiting with a business partner. I'll be leaving in 2 weeks. Very simple. And the last thing they might ask is about agricultural products, such as seeds, plants, anything like that that you are bringing into the country, because that's not allowed. So they could say this, are you carrying any agricultural products? Are you carrying any agricultural products?
The purpose of your visit?
Business or pleasure?
1 month.
Pleasure.
The purpose of your visit?
Business or pleasure?
1 month.
Pleasure.
What is the purpose of your visit?
I'm here to see my mother.
What is the purpose of your visit?
I'm here to see my mother.
All right, so you made it through customs, you got your bag checked, you got a standby ticket, everything seems to be actually working, right? So you go through, and now the only thing left to do is to go to baggage claim and get your bag. So you sit there and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and then your heart sinks and you realize that your bag is not here. It's not on the carousel. It didn't arrive at the destination. So what do? Right? You have to go and talk to the baggage claim counter. And this is the kind of conversation you'll probably have. So first you would say, my bag was not on the carousel. My bag was not on the carousel. Then, of course, they might ask you, what is your first and last name? What is your first and last name? Then they'll probably ask, what is your flight number? What is your flight number? Now you could say this, my flight number is AA147 from Shanghai to Phoenix. My flight number is AA147 from Shanghai to Phoenix. Now they might ask you for your baggage receipt. So they probably will say, can I see your baggage receipt, please? Can I see your baggage receipt, please? After they look through the system, right, and they're looking for your bag, they might say this, which would be bad news. We cannot locate your bag. It's not in the system. We cannot locate your bag. It's not in the system. And of course, you'll probably be very frustrated You'll probably want to scream at this person. But you could say this. This is a more polite way to express your frustration. You could say, how could this happen? How could this happen? Or you might get some good news. They could say, we have located your bag. It will be arriving this evening. We have located your bag. It will be arriving this evening. You could also say, when will my luggage arrive? If you need to know the specific time or date, you could say, when will my luggage arrive? They will also probably ask you for details because they will ship or they will send the bag to you. So they could say, where are you staying? What's the address? Where are you staying? What's the address? So what if you're only staying nearby for one day? You're going to another location the next day. You could say this, I will only be in town for one day. Can you ship my bag to an address? I will only be in town for one day. Can you ship my bag to an address? And hopefully they say this to you. We will deliver your bag to you this evening. We will deliver your bag to you this evening.
I'm afraid we have some bad news. I'm afraid we can't find your luggage.
What do you mean? Where is it?
It is possible it was taken off in St. Louis. I'm telling you, there's a chance you won't get your luggage this evening.
No.
I'm afraid we have some bad news. I'm afraid we can't find your luggage.
What do you mean? Where is it?
It is possible it was taken off in St. Louis. I'm telling you, there's a chance you won't get your luggage this evening.
No.
Thank you again, everyone, for watching another video here on Easy Online English. I have my carry-on. I'm going to the airport right now. Just kidding, I'm not. Don't travel during the coronavirus, unless it's necessary in an emergency, please. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. We do have another airport expressions video for you to watch, so go ahead and click here if you want to watch that. And we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.